Ah. All right, a little buffer. Let the song fade out. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of
The Subtle Nerd Podcast.
There it is. I'm Tim.
I'm Steven.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Scott.
No, you're supposed to do it, and I'm Scott. Scott, do it again.
I'm Scott.
There it
Say
is.
it. Say it.
It's like Eeyore. You guys have turned me into Eeyore.
Yeah,
We
it's our
didn't
fault.
turn you into the Eeyore. You did. You have done that yourself.
Which is a funny connection because Ewan McGregor was in Christopher Robin. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're not doing that today though.
We're not.
No.
Today it's
Scott.
going to be the. Oh, never mind. If you want Scott to make.
I
the
do
announcement.
because
Okay.
this was his idea.
Fair.
Yeah. So we want Scott to introduce this and maybe tell him about the week we have the month we have coming up.
Yeah. So I thought it might be good to kind of focus on some of the favorite director / producer. And we thought that Mel Brooks might be a good choice for this month. So we're going to start with Young Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. So we're all caught up.
Frankenstein.
We all got a chance to watch it within the last week or so.
We did. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, in general, I mean, it's definitely an earlier work. It was not my favorite of all of Mel Brooks' movies, but it had its moments, and I'm sure we'll touch on those.
But not
We're going
too
to touch
much.
things.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
touch too much.
It was a PG-13 movie. I'm sorry, PG movie. PG-13
Yes,
wasn't
indeed.
around yet. We already covered that.
Well, they had a couple of innuendos in there for some.
Couple?
PG.
Holy moly.
Couple? Yeah.
Wow. This was a lot more sexual than I remembered it being.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of Frankenstein's monster, Timmy, like if you don't instantly think of sex, like what are you even doing?
I mean, I'm wrong. I'm stupid. It's terrible.
As long as you're willing to admit that now. Like that's all I
Um,
was thinking about the entire time. When are we going to see some monster penis? And
All I can think of is what's on your shirt right now is us grappling, as far
us
as
grappling.
innuendos go.
Yeah.
And here-
Well, there you go.
There's only one way I see us,
You could have been in the movie.
Grappling.
and that's grappling nude.
Oh golly. PG.
I still always kind of think of Everybody Loves Raymond, right? Like,
Yes. So the late great Peter Boyle played Frankenstein's
Yeah.
monster.
Yes,
I did not look up his filmography. So did anybody do that?
I can
Peter
pull him up.
Boyle.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what was was this like a really early work for him, or did he have other stuff before that? Because obviously we know what he ended with. He was Ray's dad on Everybody Loves Raymond.
Right. Yeah. I knew him from Taxi Driver as well.
Oh yeah.
But let's see if there was things before that.
Yeah, what did I say? 74? Young Frankenstein was
Yeah, Young Frankenstein
1974.
74.
And then Taxi Driver was actually after that. My bad.
Hmm.
And you asked for before, but looking it up, it looks like President 1968 was his first credited role. Never saw that one. There's actually a bunch of stuff I never heard of before. We get
Yeah.
to
All right. Well, that's okay. But yeah,
is.
it was cool that he was in it. So many other early excuse me, like 60, 70 stars in this. Terry Garr. Oh my God. Like smoking hot, gorgeous Terry Garr was in this movie. Lord. Like, I knew her
Just randomly assigned to him.
I knew
Shows up in
things,
the hay.
I didn't. This isn't a movie that you watch when you're a kid. So, I knew Terry Garr from like 80s, 90s movies. She was Phoebe's mom on Friends. And then, in my late teens, early 20s, maybe you're like, Mel Brooks, I'll watch this one. Terry Garr shows up and you're like, holy cow, I was born in the wrong decade. My goodness gracious. Rolling in the hay.
Tim, do you need a moment? Do you seem a
I
little
already
verklempt?
I'm sorry I was late, guys. I'm good.
Oh, weird. She was in Dumb and Dumber too.
Terry
Yes.
Garr was?
Yes, she
Yeah.
was. She was at the ball where they're
Yeah.
talking about the two Icelandic snow owls. And she's like, "Oh, forget about
Yeah.
your friend for 1 minute." Yeah. She
I'll have
was
to watch
the
that again.
yes.
Helen Swanson. So she was the mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Samsonite. I was way off.
Samsonite.
So anywho, Young Frankenstein was a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Terry Garr. Yeah.
With Terry Garr. And that concludes our episode.
To Terry Garr, gentlemen.
Hope you all enjoyed our homage and
Young Madeline Kahn.
yes.
So she did a fantastic job. Her voice cracks me up. Everything she does. She's just got that high pitched, always kind of singing, kind of not voice that she has going on. So she was in 4 of Mel Brooks's movies. Total.
Yeah, I was gonna say she was in Blazing Saddles too. Right?
Mhm. Blazing Saddles. Oh, I just had it up. Hold on. It's gonna take me a minute here. So Mel Brooks did what? He directed 11 movies. Is that right?
Right around there. Yeah.
So
Leave
she was
us
in
alone, Mel.
Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, High Anxiety, and
Ooh.
History of the World, Part 1. But yeah, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein came out the same year. I didn't realize that till I was doing a little deep dive in this.
Oh, I didn't notice that either.
So I guess during the filming of Blazing Saddles, Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks came up with the idea to do this movie, to do Young Frankenstein. And they were both filmed and released in 74, which
Wow.
you couldn't do that now. There's no way.
No.
I mean,
I was very
especially
surprised.
like think about the sets and the script and everything on both movies, not just Young Frankenstein, but like there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of different filming places. It's not like they, it doesn't look like a high school musical, the background. It's pretty good. Like the castle looks legit. Speaking of set stuff, did you guys see that they were
Yes.
able to get a lot of the stuff from the actual Frankenstein movie from what 30s, 40s? I don't even know.
Yes, they credited that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought that was really awesome. So like all the old school.
Strickfaden. Yeah, Kenneth Strickfaden had all the original equipment, and he was so kind enough to let Mel use it, which was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Gene Hackman as well.
Yes,
I
Yeah.
loved Gene
As somebody
Hackman.
you don't recognize him,
Right.
as a
So-
as a cameo.
So I'd never seen this movie before yesterday.
What?
Never
Almost
seen
did
the
a
movie
spit
before
take
yesterday.
Just now.
Never seen it. And I had heard that Gene Hackman had a cameo in it. So the entire movie, all I'm doing is looking for Gene Hackman because I think he's so fantastic. Absolutely love Gene Hackman. And I'm like, at first I thought he was going to be like in the where they're deciding if they're going to go hunt the monster. I thought he was going to be the inspector with the wooden arm to start.
Mhm.
But I was like, oh, where is he?
No,
Did I
nope.
miss Gene Hackman? Because he wasn't a student in the school. I thought he was going to be like a random student who like raises his hand. No, he was the blind guy. Oh my God, that was so great. I was very pleased.
Yeah, it was very good stuff. Very good. Yeah, and the line that he had cracked everybody up on set. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I was gonna make espresso.
Yeah, and they had to fade out because everybody kept cracking up. That was an improv. That was his own thing.
Didn't Marty Freeman do some improv
Who's-
there too? The help
Who's
was
Marty
improv.
Freeman?
Jeez,
Marty
Feldman.
Feldman.
Feldman. That's because
Cut.
I'm not reading it off the screen.
Cut.
Do
Do it
my
again.
memory.
Let's start over.
Cut.
Marty
go-
Friedman.
Go past.
I,
Go
already
past this
fel-
part.
I said Feldman. You said Friedman.
You say Feldman, I'd say Freeman. It's our new chant that's going on the,
moving
back
hump was
of our
all
next
that,
mug.
The new mug.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marty Feldman makes this movie funny. Without
Yes.
Marty Feldman, this is just a serious romance and kind of horror. But man, Marty Feldman coming in just from the get-go The weird zoom in on his face and the standstill of the screen, which was an interesting choice, Mel Brooks.
Wasn't your hump on?
Oh, that you just had a hump on your other side.
I
That was pretty
did.
neat. There it is.
I just noticed they kept that joke going, like in Men in Tights with the mole and everything.
I
So
have
that-
a mole.
Yeah, the mole moved around his face.
Yeah.
in Men in
Moly,
Tights.
moly.
We'll get to
Yeah.
that one later, but
That was
it's like
Marty Freeman. Damn it, Scott. Feldman's idea. He actually did that on his own without telling Mel Brooks. Like he was able to switch his hump, different days, different takes, and they didn't notice till a few days later. And Mel Brooks finally he kept it in, and they, what's his name? Wilder got a little joke in there about it, because I feel like the audience wouldn't have noticed if he just did that on his own.
Because you usually attribute that to them reversing the because they did that in a scene where they reversed the footage. So the scene where the inspector with the wooden arm is going through the haunted forest, it's the whole scene is reversed. He's got the eye patch over his right eye instead
And
of
the
the left
monocle.
eye. Yeah.
You know what? Now that you mention that, I did notice, because his arm switched, like his
Yeah.
wooden mechanical arm switched in a scene. So I didn't realize they did that. Was there any reason for it?
I think it was just the direction that they wanted them to be traveling in the forest, because it started with them going from right to left. And I think they just wanted continuity. They just liked that angle better, so they just flipped the film.
Okay.
But I did notice that for that scene.
Interesting. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either until I just said it.
You just make that up.
he did just make that up.
Did I?
It's just us
Did
grappling for straws here, grasping for straws.
Grasping for straws.
I didn't know that Gene Wilder co-wrote it.
Gene Rottweiler.
I
Gene
didn't know that
Rottweiler.
either.
God damn it.
It's like, hey, we got Gene Rottweiler.
When
Marty
George
Freeman.
Rottweiler and Marty Freeman came together with Stephen L. Brooks,
We gotta
they
stop
made
saying
this
Marty
movie.
Freeman, because I'm picturing Martin Freeman, who
Yes,
was in
Bilbo Baggins.
Yes, Bilbo.
Wasn't he
Shaun of
also
the
a
Dead.
guitarist in Megadeth at one point? Marty
Uh,
Friedman.
You know what? That's your fact. You look it
That's your fact.
up.
Somebody give me a Marty Freeman.
Good stuff. All right, so
Yeah.
where are we? We're just kind of all over the place right now.
We are way
Which
all
is-
over the place.
which is fine. This is good. The fun
So-
little facts and stuff like that.
The beginning scene where or one of the beginning scenes where he's saying goodbye to Madeline Kahn on the train, and he keeps like trying to come in close, and she's like, up, not the lips, up, not the hair, up, not the nail polish. So they hold out elbows.
Yes.
So I watched this with the kids, and like every 15 minutes, I'm like holding out my elbow to my daughter, and I just get the side eye, the head shake, the sigh. It was well worth the groans. Like really,
That's
really,
fantastic.
Manny.
So even before that, when he was in the classroom,
Yeah.
just kind of doing his thing, there was a line that he said when he, the volunteer dude came in, the old man, and he's like, he pretends
Who
to,
he's never worked with before.
Yes.
I've never worked with this man before. He pretends to knee him, and he calls him, "Why, you mother grabbing bastard." Just the delivery from Gene Rottweiler for that line. Nobody else could have done that, especially in 74.
74.
Oh, funny. Like he was the perfect straight man, but he did it in a funny way. Like he was his own, Abbott and Costello. He could do both. So great. So great.
He's just got this incredible, like loud, like
His yell.
intense yelling it's so passionate and real. It's
Mhm.
so great.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. There's no way to do it. And the way he just like kind of screams and goes on that rant about it. And just,
Mhm.
like,
Yes.
it was awesome.
Man, yeah, that's good stuff.
So I enjoyed the banter there. The whole homage to the to the old movie was fun too.
Yeah, this was essentially like a love letter to the
Yes.
original Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And like I said, you had Marty Feldman in there. Did I say it right? Marty Feldman. Yeah, I said it right. You had Marty Feldman in there, and then now it's a comedy. Like if it wasn't for Marty, like I said, could have been just
And
a serious movie.
it's a serious movie with all the raging sex jokes, of course.
Raging. Raging.
I didn't pick up on any of those.
You didn't pick up what they were putting down? They
No,
were laying it on a little thick,
Mm,
I don't recall that.
thick like Frankenstein's monster.
If you
mhm.
were
Apparently.
watching with the kids, though, you probably a bit more sensitive to it.
So early on in the train, I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm sure you did. Maybe Scott didn't. But there's that scene on the train where he's going from, his university to was it Transylvania? Is that where
Transylvania.
the stop
Yeah,
was?
Transylvania.
So this couple was having that innuendo-ish conversation about, I guess their son or grandson being locked in the bathroom, and what's he doing in there? Leave the boy alone. And then they switch the scene, and in whatever German, I think it was German, and in German that couple or a different couple's having the exact same conversation. So funny. Like little things like you don't understand, you don't get when you're maybe first watching it or watching it when you're younger. The little things Mel Brooks did like that. So great.
Did Mel cameo in this at all?
No. Gene Wilder's suggestion. I'm glad you brought that up, Stephen. Nice job. Yeah. Gene's suggestion for not cameoing in this. Cameoing? Is that a word?
It is now Gene Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he thought, maybe staying off camera would give this movie a different feel than Mel Brooks's other ones. Like this was, like I said, more of a serious comedy. Whereas his other ones were just like straight up, like, a little bit of slapstick here and there. But yeah, Gene Wilder's suggestion not to have him cameo, but he kind of did cameo in the beginning. Werewolf, that was Mel Brooks howling in the background.
Their wolf.
Why are you talking like that? Oh, you started it.
It's over there.
There, castle.
Walk this way.
Glad you brought that up.
Take this. Walk this
Aerosmith?
way.
Aerosmith. Walk
They were
this
gonna
way.
take- They were going to cut that scene originally too.
Hmm.
The walk this way, and that's also another joke that's reused in Men in Tights.
We wouldn't have the song Walk This Way if it wasn't for Aerosmith taking a break from recording to go see this movie.
That's
I
right.
found that in a couple different places. When I first read that, I was like, there's no way. But yeah, a couple different places verified that for me. It's true. Are you looking it up?
You know he is.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah. Well, that's why you got to watch us. We have great little factoids. This could be one of our short reels.
It
We could
could.
tag Steven Tyler.
Scott,
Maybe
take a note.
Come on and yell at me. Tell Harrison Ford to write it down over by
All
your
right,
pool
hold
table.
on. Yeah,
They want you
got
to
this.
write things again.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Just don't show him any magic tricks. That's all he asks.
So good. Let's see what else we got. Where are we in the movie?
So they're showing
God,
up at
where-
the castle, werewolf.
Where? Their wolf.
So we got to
Their
the castle. He rolled in the hay for a little bit with Terry Gar.
He did.
I need a drink. Gracious.
Yeah.
They got in and we meet Cloris Leachman
Frau Bruca.
and
Horse
all the
names.
horses scream. That was a fun running joke.
Oh yeah. So good. And Marty Feldman just doing the Luca as right before he goes right in the castle. So good.
And he's just there when he's looking at the heads in the jar. The last one is just
Yeah, fresh.
I ain't got nobody. Yeah, he makes this movie, guys. I'm gonna keep talking about that.
He does indeed.
He was a funny dude. The Camden, I watched this with Camden. She could not get past his eye, his one eye that kind of like did its own thing. And I had to tell her, like, that was his real eye. Like, that's not a CGI or a weird thing. That's his.
Yeah.
She's like, what, really? Yeah, that's him.
Hmm.
No, we just taught Scott something too.
We did teach
Taught the putty tat.
teach it. Scott
Words.
something.
Words.
Let's see what else we got.
So,
Good.
no,
Marty
hold on.
Friedman was a guitarist for Megadeth.
Marty Friedman.
You looked him up.
I
Good.
looked him up. Yep.
Good.
Now that we have that cleared up.
Good.
And thank God.
That was worth the 8 minutes of silence we just had.
Yes. Marty Freeman, Megadeth guitarist.
So where are we? We got Igor. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Please.
I was just gonna say the putting on. I was gonna talk about the putting on the Ritz.
That's just too far away. We're not there yet.
We're so far away from that, and we've been staying on track the entire time.
So
Indeed.
So Terry Garr. No. So spit take number 2.
Both of you shut up. We're doing the whole thing on Terry Garr. Like, all right, Tim, let's talk about Terry Garr.
All right. So Hans
I'm in.
Delbruck.
Indeed.
No, not Indy. Hans Delbruck was an actual real person. So he sends Igor to get this brain. He's like, get Hans Delbruck. He wrote it on his hand.
Yes.
So he goes in, he drops the brain of Hans Delbruck. Hans Delbruck was real. Hold on. He was an accomplished military historian. He was born in 1848, died in 1929. Won a Nobel Prize for his work with viruses. Oh.
And we got
the brain of Peter Boyle.
Hold on. I missed a word. So he was an accomplished military historian whose son, Max, won a Nobel Prize for his work with viruses. So sorry, Delbruck family. I misspoke there. We need to not tag the Delbrooks when we post this one.
Oh God, I already did.
But yeah, and then comes one of the best. If you could bring up that clip, if you could find that clip of Abby Normal, where he's saying, what brain did you use? What? Yes. God, that's one of the best, like straight
Abby
man,
something.
Like, so good.
I think I might have it.
That might be one of the best, like, lines between those two in the entire movie. He's like, "Oh no, have a seat." Oh, thank you.
I got it. If you want me to,
if we could play that.
You want to? Yeah, let's play it.
We have to talk over it to not get sued by Mel because he's still alive too.
Well, when he watches this, let's make him, kind of make his own, ideas of what he would like to do with us.
We should get him on the show.
Screen share is disabled for me. Screen share is disabled for me.
Well, that's because you share pictures of bears.
Well, yeah, we had to lock you out.
And Angry George or whatever you did.
All right, Scott, you're live. You're good.
Furious George. That's what it was.
Furious George.
All right.
Scott has started screen sharing. Ooh, hi, Terry.
No,
go back to Terry. Here we go. There she is.
Now, that brain that you gave me, was it Hans Delbruck's? No. Good.
Good.
Would you mind telling me
This is a conversation. Sounds like a conversation I have with my students every single day.
And you won't be angry? I will not be angry.
Abby someone.
Abby someone. Abby who?
Abby normal.
Abby Normal.
I'm almost sure that was the name.
And he smiles.
Are you saying that I put an abnormal brain into a 7.5-foot
Here comes the
long,
yell.
54-inch wide Gorilla! Is that what you're telling me? Quick, get him up!
Three syllables, yes.
So good.
Hilarious.
We got a little bit of Gene Wilder yelling there.
And more Terry.
Yes, we did. Sorry. My Reverend Lovejoy came out a little bit.
Tim's
Reverend
screen
Lovejoy.
went blank for a moment.
Terry Gar.
Be some selective editing on this one.
Lord Jesus.
Lord Jesus. Homer.
Who? Simpson, eh?
Gar, eh?
I'm the only one that can't do
Uh-oh. Why are we freezing? Am I freezing?
Scott froze. Starlink is
just
down. Starlink is
Starlink.
down.
it.
Dear
That's just how I fake it to get out of these calls.
Oh, he
Jesus.
does watch the reels we send him.
He does
Huh.
fake it. I knew
He
it.
doesn't reciprocate, though.
No, he does not.
Yeah.
True.
And Steven, it's just us grappling. Scott's not invited when we do
Apparently.
we do our reels thing.
All right. I'll manage somehow.
I can't possibly see how.
Well, I'll find a way.
Let's see. All right, so we got Gene
Got a
Hackman.
brain.
Wait,
A
hold on,
skilled brain.
Steve. You mentioned. Would you mention before? We were talking about. Oh, Abby Normal. Was that what you were going to bring up?
I was going to talk about Abby Normal, and then you got really excited. You
I
mentioned
did.
Terry Gar again, and
I
then
did,
we
you're
just
right.
watched the clip.
My goodness gracious, Terry Gar.
And then I
We-
wanted to talk about the putting on the Ritz, and you're like, no, we're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet. That's the end. That's like right at the end. The movie kind of.
They're
It
not
was pretty
rolling the
quick.
credits as they're
That-
talking about putting on the
Yes,
Ritz.
they are.
They're pretty
Yes,
close
they are.
to it.
Play me off, Johnny.
Yeah, they do putting on the rants, and then like the rest of the movie's like 7 minutes long, and then it's the end.
Jesus. I didn't
Yeah.
realize you timed it after
Jesus. All
after they sung a song.
right, so we talked about Hackman, right?
Yeah, Hackman's
did.
so awesome.
So he practically begged to be put in this movie. So Hackman and Gene Wilder, I'm sorry, Van Wilder, is that what we're calling him? What we call him?
Gene Rottweiler.
Rottweiler. Sorry.
Rottweiler.
Sorry, Rottenweiler. So they were
Rottenweiler.
tennis
Tennis
partners,
buddies.
tennis buddies.
Can you
So-
imagine Gene Hackman playing tennis?
Okay, so we're talking about mid 70s, early to mid 70s. Think about how shorts their shorts were as they were playing. Yep, Steve's got it. He's got it. He's thought about it. Oh, something just fell out in his head. He found it.
No, Tim.
Did you see his balls? They were weird
Everybody
looking.
saw his balls.
Yeah, so they're just playing tennis, and he's like, "Hey, how do I get a part in this movie?" While Wilder's talking about it, so he was like, yeah, "I got to get in there." He hadn't done any comedic stuff before this movie.
Yeah, he's
wanted to give it a shot.
badass.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite Gene Wilder? Not Gene Wilder. What's your favorite Hackman movie?
Unforgiven.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah, mine too.
Man, really? Royal Tannenbaums. Take your face away. Yeah.
He was what is it? Get Shorty was fun too.
Oh,
Look at me,
yeah.
Harry.
Yeah.
But I like badass Gene Hackman.
Forgiven's a good one.
Like Unforgiven was incredible.
He
Like
was,
all around.
But Hunt for Red October. Was that him? Or is that something else? Am I mixing up my submarine movies?
No, you're correct.
missing the Poseidon adventure, I think.
No, you're Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide.
Crimson
Crimson.
Tide. That's when I'm mixing it up. Yep. As soon as I said it, I was like, no, that's not right.
It's another movie with
Oh.
a submarine.
Sean Connery. That's mixing them up. Okay.
Yes.
Very nice.
So he begged Gene Wilder for a part in this movie while they were
Yes.
playing tennis
He
in the
requested a role.
70s with short
Yeah.
shorts. That's
So
what
he
I've
got
gotten out
his
of this so far.
lonely blind character. So the soup that he was serving was actually steaming, boiling hot. Peter Boyle, as Frankenstein, had to wear a cup over his crotch so he didn't get burned. So some of those faces that he's making could have been
Or-
legit. Like
Or
it's
for
burning
real,
my
like,
leg.
stop, you're
Yeah.
hurting me.
As Gene Wilder's pouring the ladle into Peter Boyle's lap. Yeah, those could have been like real, like, ouch, this hurts me faces.
And everyone's just like, that's special effects.
Yeah, right. That's fake smoke.
Back off topic, Gene Hackman was also a Lex Luthor.
Yes, he was.
He was a great Lex Luthor. And I know, unpopular opinion, I think Kevin Spacey did a pretty good job recreating Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor for Superman Returns under the direction of Bryan Singer. And if he hadn't have made Superman Returns and directed X-Men 3, maybe X-Men 3 would have been tolerable. I think it would have, instead of we shan't mention his name that directed that anyway.
Steven has a perma frown after that statement.
He does. X-Men 3 was rough.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
It stinks.
And back to Igor and Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, that's right. So Terry Garr was in this movie.
So I heard.
Who did you hear that from?
Yeah. Let's fact check Tim on that one.
I'm looking right now. Don't worry. Hold on.
What are you looking at exactly, Mr. Tim? Papers. My
If you could stop talking for one damn minute.
We can't have dead air, Tim. Somebody's gonna say something.
So it won't be dead air.
Steven, you're ruining this for me.
So Young Frankenstein was the third highest grossing film in 1974. Guess what the first one was? We already talked about it.
13?
Blazing Saddles.
13?
Yes. No. Yes. Blazing Saddles. You're right. Nice job. So Mel Brooks had a pretty good year in 1974.
It was a fantastic year.
Excellent vintage.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to talk about putting on the Ritz?
Yeah, why don't you just do it?
Just go for it. Do
Just
it.
dying here.
Well, maybe
Yes,
I
shut up
don't
about
want to anymore.
Well, Terry Garr is not in that scene, so I really didn't want to talk about it.
She's not.
So go for it. You can talk about it.
Well, I gotta scroll
You
back
can't
up
talk
to my
about it yet.
stuff. Okay, I'll wait.
Wait, where are you going? Oh,
Oh,
I
he
see.
wants to actually play it.
The whole thing? All right.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Jesus Christ.
Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes, or cutaway coat, perfect fits. Dressed up like $1 million trooper, trying mighty hard to look like Gary Cooper.
Super duper.
Come, let's mix where Rockefellers walk with sticks. Or
Gene Wilder's
Rockefellers
singing
in
voice
their
is his normal voice, but he's
It
so
is.
good at it, and he can pull it
Yes.
off. I love him. I think that's dubbed.
Yes.
There she is, Terry Garr's in that scene. She's so happy to see me.
Oh, wow, Tim.
Oh, how unfortunate.
We lost it. He's screaming.
And at this point, Steve's looking in the audience for shoot,
For Gene Hackman.
for Gene Hackman. Yeah,
Where's he at?
is he in the front row? That's a woman.
All right, Scott.
I beg you, for safety's sake, don't humiliate him.
All right, Scott's gonna continue.
I
He is. We got like 10 seconds left.
Yeah. Come on.
Boom. And the
I think
fake
he-
knockout.
I think he really headbutted him.
He may have.
Probably did.
So this movie was over 3 hours long originally, before they had to cut, Mel had to cut so much stuff. They, for every one laugh they got, they had 2 or 3 just dead air from test audiences and people at who did this? Fox?
We know
I
all
can't
about
remember.
dead air.
You're welcome.
Great pause, guys. Like that was scripted.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. Hold on.
You know,
let me
the movie felt like 3 hours, Tim.
cross that off my script here. Okay, silence done. So yeah, so they had to cut out some scenes. So each night after shooting, Mel and Gene would go back to whoever's house and talk about, what to cut. So Mel wanted to cut that scene that we just saw with them dancing, and Gene was adamant that he didn't want to do it. They ended up having a huge disagreement, huge yelling match over this. And after Gene was so adamant, like, no, it's great, it goes with the flow, goes with the movie, Mel was like, yeah, that's fine, we can keep it in. And Gene, just flabbergasted, was like, wait a minute, why'd you just put me through all that? Because Mel's like, because if you wanted it in the movie, I wanted to see if you were passionate enough to tell me that you wanted to keep it in the movie. So Gene's passion was able to keep that scene. Mel was kind of, probably teetering back and forth. So I thought that was pretty cool. That was their only argument in this movie. There's an entire article about it right here, thanks to the Hollywood Reporter. Credit where credit is due.
Thank you, Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, they argued for 20 minutes. And this was according to Gene. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing this. He did an interview with Conan O'Brien, I think. It's a really good interview. We shouldn't play the whole thing right now, Scott, but we should. If you do like Gene Wilder, I think you should watch it. It's kind of towards the later years. Gene's in like this big blue sweatshirt and his hair is all disheveled. He just did not give an F at all at that point, but it's Gene Wilder, so who cares?
Did you have some commentary around the Putton scene?
The what scene?
Putton and Ritz.
Putton.
Putting on the fringe. The golf that they just played.
They just played mini golf, but that was cut.
That was one of the scenes that was cut. This
Yeah,
movie
it was on
did feel
cutting
like
room floor.
3 hours. Like it was, the runtime was what, 1 hour 44 minutes, and it felt 3 hours long.
There were some parts that still could have been cut. I do agree.
Yeah, we could have taken that down a smidge. Just a hair.
Mhm.
I am reading this fun factoid. Twin brother illustrators Tim Hildebrand and Greg Hildebrand decided they wanted a career in painting movie posters and created a poster for
Oh,
Young
yeah.
Frankenstein overnight after visiting the Manhattan office for 20th Century Fox in '73. Although this
Yes.
poster did not get used, it led them to be commissioned to create a poster for another Fox feature, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. To this day, Greg Hildebrand is still grateful to Mel Brooks for this.
So the guy who did get chosen to do the poster, I have that here, and I forgot. So you just said that, John Alvin. So he also did the posters for E.T., Blade Runner, Gremlins, The Goonies, Little
Nice.
Mermaid, Batman Returns, Aladdin, and even The Lion King. So John Alvin did all right.
You did indeed.
But yeah, I recognize the Hildenbrand Hurtenhauer name.
We've been screwing up every name, so just say whatever.
I'm sorry, Stefan.
No problem, Timey.
You even mispronounced problem for us.
I'm here to help. I'm here to help.
Goodness gracious. Yeah.
Scott is texting us.
What? Oh God. Well, you
as
disabled
we're
his screen
talking-
sharing.
I did not.
I didn't text. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Scott. Must you text us smut in the middle of a podcast?
I
Smut.
didn't text anybody.
You leave Terry Gar out of this, pal.
I
Disgusting.
have a text from one Scott Riddle. Two twins. Jesus Christ.
Why is there only one cup in this video? And who are these two girls? What's going on?
Oh God.
Just wrong, Tim.
I agree. I didn't make the damn video. Come on.
Well, is
That's a
that
little
all we got to
segue.
say
We had
about that?
obviously practiced that. To the surprise and delight of everyone.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of running low on my information here. This was a good one. I enjoyed this movie. This was, like I said, this was one that I didn't really watch when I was younger, but I wouldn't have gotten it.
Did we land on which one to do next?
I think it was Spaceballs, right?
Yeah, I know Spaceballs will be in there. We've got
Mhm.
others to choose from too for this
I mean,
month.
we can wait if we want to do 1974 duo. We can do Blazing Saddles next time.
Or History of the World, or Men in Tights.
Well, that's not 1974. Yeah, whatever's fine.
Yeah, we go.
Spaceballs. Watch out.
Jinx.
Good job for what?
So all in all, so you said you liked it. This was my first time seeing the film.
Yeah.
I definitely I liked the homage to the original Frankenstein. I did get quite a few chuckles at parts. The innuendo stuff is always a laugh riot. Definitely thought it could have been a smidge shorter. Definitely didn't laugh as much in the film as I do for other Mel Brooks films. Like the first time I saw Spaceballs, I was like, I couldn't breathe laughing so hard. And Men in Tights was just, it could have been just the, you know, the age that I was seeing both of those as well. That was really,
Yeah.
and my humor hasn't changed in that amount of time either. But yeah, there were
10
definitely,
years.
I agree with what Scott said earlier. I definitely found other films funnier, but I liked what this film was trying to do.
You would agree with Scott. Unbelievable.
Wow, listen to you. Timmy, it's still just going to be us grappling.
There it is.
It is.
So a little piece of info that I had on this. This was just from me. So I'm a huge fan of Malcolm in the Middle. Do you guys remember that show?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess 2000s, 90s, 2000s. Cloris Leachman and Kenneth Mars, the guy who played the inspector in this movie, were both featured with multiple cameos in Malcolm in the Middle. So I thought that was kind of cool. So obviously the producers or whoever were fans of them. So I thought that was kind of cool.
For a brief moment when the inspector was being introduced and he turned around super slow, for just a moment, I swore to God it was Steve Martin, and I was so excited that he was going to be in the movie. And then it was like, this is not Steve Martin.
9.
You gotta love an eye patch with the monocle, though. That's
that was his own idea. He did that for Mel Brooks, and Mel Brooks was like, Kenneth, that's in. You're keeping it.
It's in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, if you could make Mel Brooks laugh, I feel like you can just retire at that point.
Is he difficult to make laugh?
I don't care if he's difficult or easy. If you can make Mel Brooks laugh, I feel like that would be an accomplishment.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I had was Cloris Leachman was asked to reprise this role for Broadway when Young Frankenstein was on Broadway, but her schedule didn't open up in time before it was before they closed it, which that could have been cool. That might have gotten me to my first Broadway show if they got her to do that.
If they got Terry Gar, that would have gotten you their first Broadway show, Tim.
She's here? Oh, sorry.
Tim vanished.
No, is she this is gonna sound terrible. Is she still with us?
Yes.
She is? Okay. Yes, 78. Good for her. Good for her. But I think we've lost Cloris. Lost a few others from this one. Mel's still kicking. He's 90, what, 93, 94?
Yeah. You're up there.
Let's find out. 96. Holy cow.
Woof.
Woof.
I mean, there's a dog in the background.
We're
Tim.
quoting Madeline Kahn. Do you see her? Oh yeah. Hey, Britta.
Gene Hackman's also up there. Jeez, I just
He
noticed
is.
that.
Yeah.
He is.
93.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. I think I'll let you guys talk for a minute.
I think I said my piece. I think I'm tapped out.
Yeah, I'm about done my beer here, so
Yeah, I think
You were drinking, Timmy?
no.
Tim.
What are you talking about?
Mr. Tim.
I've got 2 different koozies today. I don't know if anybody noticed.
Michelangelo.
Ooh,
Oh, and
Mr. Poopy Butthole,
ooh-wee.
my favorite character from what was that, Ben and Jerry? What was that?
Rick and
Rick
Morty.
and Morty.
Ben and Jerry. My favorite ice cream flavor. What?
Excellent choice, Scott. I enjoy this movie.
Fantastic.
If you
I
get a
enjoyed
chance, watch the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray or DVD.
Oh, the
which-
bloopers.
yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
good. There are some good ones there.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
It just looks like they had a great time making this.
Well, they said Gene laughed so hard, like every other take.
Yeah, like they just couldn't keep it up, and probably it was because of Marty Friedman, because he's hilarious.
Marty Friedman.
Marty Friedman.
In between writing songs for Megadeth,
Yeah.
Marty Friedman.
Yeah, Marty Feldman, man, he did some great stuff. He I think my earliest recollection of him was the Muppet Show. He did an episode from season 5, I think, their final season. He was hilarious. Just take my word for it. He was really good.
I will take your word for it, Tim.
If you can find it online, it would be something good for you to watch later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later
I
tonight.
will do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Close out the Terry Gar tabs.
That's gonna take a while.
17 of them.
Didn't know your browser could open 47 windows.
Computer's running real slow, guys. I don't know why. All right, this was good. So next
Well,
time.
Tim, you've got the rest of your night planned. So thank you guys.
So our next one is it Spaceballs?
It is
that what we're talking about?
Spaceballs.
Okay, good.
Baseballs.
Watch out.
Thank you so much to our listeners for tuning in. You are very much appreciated. Thank you.
Spotify and YouTube now.
Spotify and YouTube.
Mhm.
If you want to listen with being able to close your screen,
Yes.
then we have all the episodes up on Spotify in addition to the YouTube.
Mm.
And if you have any preferences, like perhaps you have a favorite fun movie that you would like us to chat about, then shoot us a message or a comment. We would
Yeah.
love to include it.
We would love to ignore that suggestion like we do with all of Steve's suggestions.
Wow. I know you
Indeed.
guys are very busy ignoring my suggestions.
Hey, Steve's still here.
Is there a guy talking? I think I
Yeah.
hear some background noise on your side.
It sounded like the Micro Machines guy just chatting it up.
All
Or
right,
an
I'm gonna
auctioneer or something.
hop on off. Senator Organa's wife is gonna stop by for a smidge.
Oh, Bale doesn't find out. Goodness.
Harrison, are you cool with this?
God damn it.
It's a no-go, Steven. Sorry.
Oh, well,
All right.
Can't
Thanks
blame a man
to
for
our
trying.
listeners. Thank you.
yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
all. You all have a great night.